Could the Philadelphia Eagles be gearing up to make a bold move in the NFL draft? The buzz is palpable as the franchise faces uncertainty with A.J. Brown, who is yet to report to voluntary workouts. Speculation is rife that Brown could be on borrowed time in Philadelphia, especially with the potential to save a considerable amount of cash by trading him after June 1st. This looming decision places the Eagles in a position of power as they look to reshape their receiving core. The urgency to solidify the wide receiver position is evident, and the Eagles have already begun to address this need. They've added depth by acquiring Dontavian Wicks, who has signed a one-year extension alongside Hollywood Brown and Elijah Moore, both of whom also inked one-year deals. But Philadelphia isn't stopping there. They are keenly eyeing the draft to secure a top-tier wideout. The depth of this year's draft class is a silver lining, presenting an opportunity for the Eagles to snag a WR2 to complement Devonta Smith, their clear WR1. Imagine for a moment if the Eagles could secure two WR1 talents in this draft. That's a tantalizing prospect that could reshape their offense. If Jordan Tyson, who has faced injury setbacks, drops into the mid to late teens, the Eagles could be in prime position to make a move at their number 23 pick. General Manager Howie Roseman has made it abundantly clear. If there's a player worth the jump, Philadelphia is ready to make it happen. If there's an opportunity that we think makes sense to move up based on the value of that player, we'll move up, he stated last week, underscoring the franchise's commitment to landing difference makers. The Eagles possess two third-round picks, providing leverage to maneuver up the board. Trading the number 68 pick could be a significant move, but if Tyson falls into the mid-teens, it might not be necessary. Instead, they could consider parting with their number 98 pick, which could allow them to strike a deal. According to the Mike McCoy draft valuation chart, the number 23 pick is valued at 760 points, while the number 98 pick weighs in at 108 points. To move up a few spots, the Eagles would likely need to target the number 19 slot held by the Carolina Panthers, worth 875 points. A sixth-round pick could sweeten the deal, while the number 68 pick, valued at 250 points, serves as a bargaining chip without needing to go beyond Minnesota's number 18 pick. The stakes are high, and Brown's legacy in Philadelphia is undeniable. He stands as one of the most prolific wide receivers in franchise history, boasting the most 1,000-yard seasons. Yet, the reality is that any rookie would find it daunting to replicate Brown's production over his four-year tenure. However, Tyson possesses the potential to exceed expectations. With the right guidance from Devonta Smith, he could emerge as an immediate playmaker if he can stay healthy. His ability to create separation is a valuable asset, and his training under Hines Ward at Arizona State prepares him well for the complexities of the NFL route tree. Tyson's injuries may have pushed him down the draft board, but his talent is undeniable. If the Eagles make the right move, they could hit a home run in this draft. While they will always honor what A.J. Brown contributed to the franchise, the transition to a new star could be seamless, setting Philadelphia up for a bright future on offense. With the draft looming, the excitement is building. Fans, where are you watching from? Share your thoughts on the Eagles' potential moves. The anticipation for how this all unfolds is palpable, and it's just the beginning of what promises to be an eventful offseason for Philadelphia. As we look ahead, let's dive into the next topic that's been making waves in the Eagles organization. Howie Roseman is poised to make yet another headline-grabbing trade during the NFL draft, and you know what that means for the Philadelphia Eagles. The Eagles' general manager has a reputation for not merely sitting on his hands with the 8 picks at his disposal. Instead, he's constantly on the move, working tirelessly to accumulate more draft capital for the future. This brings us to the burning question: will this be the draft where the Eagles trade up or down? With the Eagles holding the number 23 pick, it's essential to evaluate the landscape of this draft class. Unlike the previous years, this year's crop isn't overflowing with elite talent, and the depth is less impressive. So, the gamble for the Eagles is whether to trade up for a coveted player or to trade down and stockpile additional picks. If the right talent is still on the board at number 23, it might be advantageous to hold steady. However, if the best tackles, like Spencer Fano and Franci Mauigoa, are long gone, trading down could be a wise strategy. Kadyn Proctor emerges as an ideal target for the Eagles. He's versatile enough to play both tackle and guard, bringing an immediate competitive edge for the right guard position in Week 1. But what happens if Proctor is snatched away in the teens? The Eagles face a critical juncture. They could look to Monroe, Freeling, and Blake Miller, who are solid options, yet the value of accumulating more picks might outweigh the need to reach for them in the first round. In a draft that holds promise for other positions, the Eagles could look to acquire picks that would bolster their chances in the 2027 draft. Speaking of positions, let's turn our attention to wide receivers. Two intriguing prospects stand out: Jordan Tyson and Omar Cooper Jr. Tyson, a player whose injuries have clouded his potential, possesses top 10 talent, and could be a WR1 if he can stay healthy. His hamstring issues raise legitimate concerns, but if he tumbles into the 20s, the Eagles would have to consider him seriously. Cooper, on the other hand, may not have the same ceiling, but is a reliable WR2 who excels after the catch. Both players could provide the offensive spark the Eagles need, and if they fall to number 23, the Eagles would be wise to snatch them up. However, if neither receiver is available, the Eagles could still trade down, securing more picks and selecting a wideout later in the draft. The landscape is ripe for maneuvering. Now let's tie this back to the overarching strategy. The discussions surrounding A.J. Brown serve as a valuable lesson. The draft classes in 2027 and 2028 promise to be significantly stronger, thanks to the end of the COVID era's impact on college football and the influx of top-tier talent. The Eagles have a unique opportunity to position themselves favorably for those future drafts. By trading down and accumulating more valuable picks, they can set themselves up for sustained success. As fans, we must keep a close eye on how this unfolds. Will Roseman stick to his guns and trade down? Or will he seize the opportunity to move up and secure a key player? The anticipation is palpable, and we want to hear from you. Where are you watching from, and what do you think about the Eagles' strategy in this draft? Now, let's transition to our next topic, where we'll dive deeper into the Eagles' roster moves and how they could shape the team's future. Stay tuned. The Philadelphia Eagles find themselves in a precarious situation with A.J. Brown, and the implications of his absence from the offseason program are anything but trivial. Speculation is rife, and the stakes couldn't be higher for a team that has its eyes set on contention. Fans, where are you watching from? We want to hear your thoughts on this unfolding drama surrounding one of our star players. A.J. Brown is undeniably a cornerstone of the Eagles' offense. Yet his decision to skip voluntary workouts is raising eyebrows and fueling uncertainty about his future with the franchise. This isn't just a case of a player choosing to sit out. This is a signal of deeper issues at play. According to reports, Brown will not be part of the Eagles' off-season program as he awaits clarity on what lies ahead. This phrasing is critical. It indicates that this absence is shrouded in unresolved questions about his standing within the organization. For a player of Brown's caliber, such a move seldom goes unnoticed, and it has the potential to send shockwaves through the locker room. The tension has been simmering for months, and various factors have contributed to this growing uncertainty. Despite an impressive 2025 season where he recorded 78 receptions for over 1,000 yards and 7 touchdowns, questions have emerged regarding his role in the evolving Eagles' offensive scheme. The offensive system has undergone shifts that have impacted his involvement, and it's clear that this has led to frustration, not just for Brown, but potentially within the entire team. Reports of locker room tensions and concerns about overall offensive functionality have further complicated matters. The Eagles, with their sharp front office, have been quietly preparing for contingencies. They have been bolstering their depth at wide receiver and strategizing around the financial implications that come with Brown's contract. This foresight suggests that the organization is not just passively waiting for the situation to resolve itself, but rather actively positioning itself for any eventuality. Now, the trade rumors are intensifying, with teams like the New England Patriots surfacing as potential suitors, especially considering Brown's past ties to Mike Vrabel. The timing of a potential trade is another layer of complexity. If it were to happen post-June 1, the Eagles could mitigate the salary cap repercussions, making the decision more palatable from a financial standpoint. However, as of now, we are left in a state of limbo. Nothing has been finalized, and the uncertainty hangs heavy in the air. As fans, we must confront the possibility that A.J. Brown could be on the move. And while speculation is part of the game, it's crucial to remain grounded in the reality of what this means for the Eagles. How does losing a player of his talent impact the team's trajectory moving forward? The Eagles are at a crossroads, and the decisions made in the coming weeks will significantly shape the landscape of the franchise. In closing, this is a critical moment for the Philadelphia Eagles. The uncertainty surrounding A.J. Brown's future is not just a storyline. It is a defining issue that could impact the team's performance next season. I want to hear from you. What do you think? Should the Eagles hold on to Brown, or is it time to explore trade options? Comment below and let us know where you're watching from. And if you want to stay updated on all things Eagles, don't forget to subscribe for the latest news and insights. Fly, Eagles, fly!